So the story of the Jewish king for who for bigotry's sake, or bigotry's sake, however you pronounce that, used to slay the Christians. So there was a Jewish king who used to kill the Christians just because they were not Jews, because they were Christians, you know? So out of hatred and bigotry and hate for Isa alayhi salam, he used to kill the Christians. So this is the story of this king, and Maulana Rum brings it here to teach you something, right? So let's see what he wants to convey to us with the story. Remember, Maulana Rum doesn't bring stories for entertainment. Every story has a reason and a purpose and a moral behind it. So in this story, he's going to show you some points, and as they come, I will explain them to you. Right, let's dive in. So amongst the Jews, there was a king who wrought oppression and an enemy of Jesus and a destroyer of Christians. So he was an enemy of Jesus, and he was the destroyer of Christians, meaning he used to kill the Christians just because they were Christians. So it was the epoch of Jesus, and the turn was his. He was the soul of Moses, and Moses the soul of him, right? So all the messengers are souls of each other, meaning they support each other in the same message. But this king, the squint-eyed one, right? The double-seeing king, the squint-eyed one, a person who is squint-eyed is a person who sees one thing as double, right? They call him ahwal in Arabic and in Farsi here. So this king was ahwal, he was squint-eyed. He was seeing one thing as two. So Maulana Rum wants to show you that you may see things as two, and they may appear to you as two, but they are not two, they are actually one, right? And through the story, he will prove to you this point. Now, this king, Musa and Isa, are one and the same thing. They are one in their message and in their prophethood and in their messengerhood. But this king saw them as two. He saw Musa as a separate prophet, and he saw Isa as separate, right? For him, Isa and Musa were two separate people. So Musa was a prophet according to him, and Isa was a liar, a antichrist according to him. So he was seeing them as two different people, whilst they were the same people. They were the same messengers. Now, the squint-eyed, double-seeing king separated in the way of God those two divine prophets who were really in accord with each other. Now, Musa and Isa alayhi salam, they both complement each other, and they are one in the message that they have been sent with. It's the same message. But this king saw them as two, right? So, in the story, Maulana Rum brings another story. Now watch what is going on in the story. So the master said to a squint-eyed pupil. So the teacher told one of his students, but the student was squint-eyed, right? He told him, come on, go fetch that bottle out of the room. So he told him that in the other room, there is one bottle, go and bring that bottle, right? Now, the squint-eyed one asked, which of the two bottles shall I bring to you? Explain fully. Now, the squint-eyed person is seeing two bottles there. There's only one bottle, but he's seeing two. So the teacher tells him, go and bring the bottle from the room. Now he's asking, which of the two bottles shall I bring to you? Tell me clearly, which one shall I bring? So the teacher said to him, they are not two bottles. There's no two bottles there, replied the master. Go, leave off squinting and do not be seeing more than one. Leave your squint-eyedness. There's no two bottles there. There's only one. Go and bring that bottle. But this boy insisted and said, "Oh, master," he said, "don't chide me, don't play with me, don't kid with me, don't joke with me," said that the child. The master said, "Okay, if you're seeing two bottles there, what you do, smash one of those two. Smash one of the bottles and bring the other one." Now, what's going to happen? There is only one bottle. This squint-eyed person is seeing the bottle, one bottle as two. So the master said to him, "Okay, if there's two bottles there, break one bottle and bring the other one." The bottle was one, though in his eyes it seemed two. When he broke the bottle, there was no other. So when the boy went and broke one bottle, the other bottle also disappeared because the other bottle was never there. There was only one bottle. But his quintness was showing him two bottles. Same like that. This king, the messengers are all one, right? Quran says, لا نفرق بين أحد منهم. We do not differentiate between any of them. They are all one, right, in their message. And we believe in all of them. But this king, he separated between them and he was squint-eyed. So when one was broken, both vanished from sight. A man is made squint-eyed by evil propensities, by evil propensity and anger. So because of your hatred and jealousy and greed and anger and evilness, you see 2, 3, and 4. You become squint-eyed. You cannot see the truth. So do not be like this. King. Anger and lust make man. Now, in this point, Rumi is trying to prove to you some things here. And he says to you, anger and lust make a man squint-eyed. So, anger and lust will make you squint-eyed. They change the spirit so that it departs from the rectitude. So from seeing the right things, you start seeing other things that are not there. When self-interest appears, right? Self-interest, selfishness, virtue becomes hidden. When self-interest appears, virtue becomes hidden. 100 veils rise from the heart to the eye, right? So 100 veils will fall on your heart, from the heart to the eye. You won't be able to see the truth. When the Qadi, the translate here, when the Qadi is the wrong translation here. When the judge lets bribery gain hold of his heart. So Qadi here in the Farsi, if the judge allows bribery to get control of his heart, how should he know the wronger from the wretched victim of wrong? How will he know who is the zalim, who is the oppressor, and who is the oppressed? See, if the judge allows bribery to get hold of his heart, meaning he allows his heart to accept bribery, then now he can't see anything. He can't see the zalim, he can't see the oppressor, he can't see the oppressed, because bribery has taken over his heart. What a delicate point Rumi is trying to tell you here. Now, the king from Jewish rancor became so squint-eyed, right? Because he was a Jew and he hated the Christians, he became so squint-eyed that we cry. Rumi is making a prayer here, a cry here, and saying, "Mercy, O my Lord, mercy, save us from such an affliction. Ya Allah, Ya Rabbi, Ya Rabbi Aman. Oh Allah, save us from such an affliction." When you become blinded because of anger and hatred and jealousy and greed and pride and arrogance, all of these things, you become squint-eyed. This king, he became so squint-eyed He slew hundreds of thousands of wrong, innocent believers. He killed thousands of innocent believers, saying, I am the protection and support of the religion of Moses. So, in the name of protecting the religion of Musa, he killed thousands of people who were following Isa. Now, an important point Rumi is trying to prove here, and it's a very delicate point, and it's hidden in between the lines. If you don't pay attention, you will not get it. What Rumi is trying to tell you here is that all prophets are one, all messengers are one, all religions are one. They teach the same thing, right? They may have different practices or different appearances or different dresses, but in essence, they are all one. So in the name of religion, you shouldn't fight each other, right? Same thing what the Quran teaches, that if Allah wanted, He could have made all of you as one ummah, as one ummah. وَلَوْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ لَجَعَلَكُمْ أُمَّةً وَاحِدَةً. If Allah wanted, He could have made you all as one ummah, following one prophet, following one book. But He did not do that. Why? وَلَكِنْ لِيَبْلُوَكُمْ فِي مَا آتَاكُمْ. But He made you separate ummahs, separate shariahs, following separate anbiya, and separate practices and laws, so that He may test you. لِيَبْلُوَكُمْ فِي مَا آتَاكُمْ. So that He may test you in what He has given you. So what is your duty as a human, as an ummati of any ummah? فَاسْتَبِقُوا الْخَيْرَاتِ. Right? Rush towards doing good actions, good deeds, right? Good morals, right? Assisting each other, helping each other, and being in the assistance of each other. That is the test. So your duty is not to fight each other and kill each other, as it has been going on for ages now, because people don't want to listen to the truth, and they are blinded and squint-eyed by their hatred and their jealousy and their arrogance and their pride and anger. What Rumi is saying here 800 years ago is exactly what is happening in the world today. People on basis of religion killing each other, Christians fighting Muslims, Muslims fighting Jews, Jews fighting Christians, Muslims fighting Hindus, Buddhists fighting Muslims, just fighting each other for what? For what? For what? There's no reason. We are just blinded. We are just squint-eyed. We are seeing the messengers as 2 and 3 and 4, whilst all the messengers, they are the same and they convey the same message. Now, in the story, the king, who was a Jew and killing thousands of Christians, he had a very wicked wazir. He had a very wicked vizier, right? Minister who was very wicked. Now, what the wazir does? So, how the wazir instructed the king to plot? Now, he had a vizier, a miscreant, an ogler, a deceiver, a very coy and very deceiving and very tactful and deceitful wazir, who by reason of his exceeding guile would tie knots on water. He was so good at deceiving that he could make knots on water. So this is an expression. When someone is so good at something, we say that he can tie knots on water. Now, it's impossible to tie knots on water, but it's just an expression. So this wazir of the king was so, plotful and so deceiving and so beguiling that he could tie knots on water. The Christians said, he said to the king, the Christians seek to save their lives, they hide their religion from the king. So he's telling the king, the Christians, they seek to save their lives and they want to hide their religion from you, the king. So slay them not, for slaying them is useless. Don't kill them. He's telling the king, don't kill them. Killing them is useless because religion has no smell. It is not musk and aloes wood. You can't smell religion, right? So killing the people because of religion is of no benefit. It's useless because religion has no smell. The secret is concealed in 100 coverings. Its outward forms is in agreement with thee. So the people outwardly, they will agree with you. They will tell you they are not Christians, they are Jews. But the inward reality is in disagreement. But inside, they are actually Christians and they are not Jews. So the wazir tells them, killing them is not going to finish them. So leave that plan. The king said to him, okay then, tell me, what is the best plan? Do you have any other plan? What is the remedy against that deceit and imposture? See, the king and his wazir, they are so blinded. So when you are evil, your wazirs are evil also. Nah? So the king asked the wazir, what is the remedy for that deceit and imposture? So how do I get rid of these Christians? Because so that they may not remain a single Christian in the world. I don't want even one single Christian to remain in this world. Neither one whose religion is manifest, nor one who is concealed. I want to kill them all. I want to finish them all, right? The one who is hiding his religion, the one who is revealing his religion, I don't want none of them to remain on the surface of the earth. Look how blinded that king was. So the king, the wazir says to the king, O king, he said, cut off my ears and hands, rub my nose and lips by bitter cruel decree. Look. The wazir says to the king, you know what? Cut off my ears and my hands and rub my nose and my lips by bitter cruel decree. So do torture me in public and cut off my ears and hands and my nose and lips with your cruelty. Okay. Now watch the plan, and Maulana Rumi is bringing the story to show you that how people can deceive you and to what level they can go in deceiving, and how blindness can cause you to oppress, and how low can you go in oppressing with blindness. So darkness is very dark, and how dark it can be, Maulana Rumi is trying to show you here. So then after that, bring me under the gallows that an intercessor may plead for me. So after torturing me, the wazir tells the king, after you torture me, bring me under the gallows so that an intercessor may plead for me. So I will pretend to be a Christian, right? And you must punish me, and I will cry for help, and someone from the Christians will intercede for me. That's what's going on here. So do this deed in a place for public proclamation, on a highway where roads run in 4 directions. So do this in public so everyone can hear and see. Then banish me from thy presence to a distant land, that I may cast mischief and confusion amongst them. So here's his plan. He wants the king to torture him in public, right? And take him to the gallows in public, so that one of the Christians or the Christian people may feel sorry for him and may come to his rescue and save him from the king. Now watch what happens. How the wazir brought the Christians into doubt and perplexity. Look, if you don't have inner eyes and you only have outer eyes, Rumi is saying, you will be taken for a ride. Look what happens here. Then I will say to them, I am secretly a Christian. O God, who knowest all things hidden, thou knowest me. So what I will say to them, after you are torturing me and you want to kill me, I will say to them, I am secretly a Christian, and Allah, God knows my, the hidden things. He knows about me. This king who is the one to kill me, was informed of my Christian faith from bigotry, sought to take my life. Out of anger and hatred, he wants to kill me just because I'm a Christian. I wish to hide my religion from the king and profess his religion. I wanted to hide my religion from the king and profess his religion and pretend that I'm a Christian, but this king has smelled me out and now he wants to kill me because of my religion, because I'm a Christian. Look at how the plans are going on of the wazir and the king. But the king got a scent of my inmost beliefs, and my words was suspected when I stood before the king. He said, "Your words are like a needle in bread, specious but pernicious. There is a window between my heart and yours," meaning I can see right through you. You are pretending to be a Jew, but you are actually a Christian. Through that window, I have seen your real state. I see your state and will not heed your words. So here, Rumi is saying the king could see through the heart of the wazir. But actually what he is conveying to you is Allah can see right through your heart. What is there? يَعْلَمُ خَائِنَةَ الْأَعْيُنِ وَمَا تُخْفِي الصُّدُورِ. Nothing is hidden from Allah. Through that window, I have seen your real state. I see your state and will not heed your words. Had not the spirit of Jesus been my aid, so the wazir says to the people, had not the spirit of Jesus been my aid, he would in Jewish fashion have torn me into pieces. So if it was not Isa alayhi salam saving my life, this king would have torn me into pieces. For Jesus' sake, I would yield my life. For Isa alayhi salam, I will give my life, I don't mind, and give my head and lay on myself, confess myriads of obligations to him, right? For the sake of Isa alayhi salam, I'm ready to give my life and my head, right? I do not grudge Jesus my life, but full well am I versed in the knowledge of his religion. I don't mind giving my life for Jesus. I'm well versed in the knowledge of his religion, right? Grief was coming over me. It seemed to me a pity that that holy religion should perish amongst those who are ignorant of it. So the wazir says to the people that I was very sad. I don't want that holy religion to perish amongst those who are ignorant of it. Thanks be to God and to Jesus that I have become a guide to the true faith. So the Christians, they saved him from that king, and he proclaimed to them that he is a Christian who was hiding his faith, and pretending to be a Jew. But the king had caught him, and in this wazir said he is well versed in the religion of Jesus, and he is well versed in the Injil and the gospel. Thanks be is telling to them, thanks be to God and Jesus that I have become a guide to the true faith. Look, deception. I have escaped from Jews and Judaism so entirely that I have bound my waist with a Christian girdle. I am a pakka, full Christian. I'm not a Jew at all. I have escaped from there. The present epoch is the epoch of Jesus. O men, hearken with your soul. Listen with your souls unto the mysteries of his religion. So he's praising now Isa alayhi salam and the religion of Isa alayhi salam. The king did to him that deed, mutilation, which he had proposed. The people remained in amazement at that hidden mysterious plot. So the people didn't know what was going on. He, the king, drove him away to the Christians. After that, he, the wazir, began to proselytize. So the king punished, tortured, and mutilated the wazir. The people saved, the Christians saved the wazir, and they took him away. And after that, the wazir began to proselytize. He began preaching Christianity. Now, watch what he does. How the Christians let themselves to be duped by the vizier, right? So Rumi is narrating the story of the Christians and the Jews. But this story can apply to any two religions, to Muslims and Jews, to Muslims and Christians, Muslims and Hindus, Muslims and Buddhists. It can apply to any two people who fight with each other or who hate each other's religion and fight in the name of religion for no reason, because of blindness, because of squintness. Now look what happens here. Myriads of Christian men gathered around him little by little in his abode. Now the wazir is at the Christians' land and with the Christians, so they come gather around him little by little in his house. While he secretly expounded to them the mysteries of the gospel and girdle and prayer. So he's giving them da'wah of the gospel and the girdle and prayer and how to be in the ibadah and remember Allah and be faithful, He's giving them da'wah now. Outwardly, he was a preacher of religious ordinance, but inwardly, he was as the whistle and snare of the fowler. So the fowler, the person wants to catch the bird, so he makes the sounds of the bird, and then the bird comes and thinks that it's his fellow friends there, but instead he finds the fowler and the fowler catches him and traps the bird. So this wazir, outwardly was preaching religious teachings, but inwardly he was like the whistle and snare of the fowler. So outwardly people will appear something as something, inside will be something else. If you don't have the eyes to see with the heart, you will be taken for a ride. On this account, some companions of Muhammad begged of the Prophet ﷺ that he would acquaint them with the deceitfulness of the gold-like soul, right? The Sahaba of the Messenger Rasul, they used to beg the Prophet to acquaint them with the deceptions of the nafs, nafs a whole, this nafs which is evil, nafsun ammaratun bisu. So the Sahaba, they would ask the Prophet and beg him to acquaint them with the deceits and deceptions of this evil self, the evil nafs, saying, what of hidden selfish interests does it mingle in acts of worship and in pure spiritual devotion? They would say to the Prophet, tell us that this evil self, how it mingles, how it interrupts the acts of ibadah and pure spiritual devotion, how the nafs can take you and deceive you, even in your ibadah, in your worship. They were not seeking from him excellence of piety. So the Sahaba, whenever they used to come to the Prophet, they never used to ask him, tell us about the virtues of piety and the virtues of this and how much rewards for this and how much rewards for that. But they were inquiring where lay the outward defect. They were inquiring where is the outward defect, where is the real problem. Hair by hair, speck by speck, they were recognizing this deceitfulness of the fleshly soul. So, hair by hair and speck by speck, they were recognizing, the Sahaba, they were recognizing the deceitfulness of this fleshly nafs, this fleshly self, right? The nafs, the evil self, as plainly as the difference of the rose from parsley. So how you can distinguish rose from parsley, the Sahaba, could distinguish the evil nafs from the soul, from the good spirit, pure spirit. Even the hair splitter, the most scrupulous of the companions, used to become distraught in spirit at the Prophet's admonition to them, the inquirers. So, even the most scrupulous, of the companions, They used to come distraught in spirit at the Prophet's admonition to them. So when the Prophet would give them advice, they, even the most pious of them, they would become, aware of the evil of the nafs. So Rumi here is telling you that if you do not recognize that evil of your nafs, of yourself, of your inner evil self, you will be blinded, like how this wazir was blinded, and like how the people were deceived, and like how the king was deceived. Now it continues with the story how the Christians follow the wazir. See, if you are blind, then you can't see. The Christians all gave their hearts to him. Look, they were just looking with their outward eyes. They had no insight. They gave their hearts to him, and how great indeed is the strength of the blind conformity of the vulgar. So how great indeed is the strength of the blind conformity of the vulgar. So if you blindly follow the evil people, how great is that stupidness and the strength of that blindness. They planted love of him within their breasts. They were putting love for this wazir in their hearts. They were regarding him as the Vicar of Jesus. They were regarding him as the vicegerent, as the Khalifa, the Naib here, Naib of Isa. They were considering this wazir to be the replacement, the vicegerent, or the Khalifa of Isa. He inwardly, in reality, was the accursed one-eyed Antichrist. So this person, this wazir, was actually the Antichrist. He was Dajjal. See, Dajjal. بسر دجال لك ششم العين. He inwardly, in reality, was the accursed one, the one-eyed Antichrist. O God, do thou hear and answer the cry of those in trouble. What a good helper you are. O Allah, O God, there are myriads of snares and baits. There are many, many deceptions and, baits, and we are as greedy, foodless birds. There are so many baits and there are so many hooks, right? And we are as greedy, foodless birds. We just fall for everything. We are so greedy. From moment to moment, we are caught in a fresh snare, a fresh bite, a fresh bait. Though we become each one like a falcon or a simar, even though we become a falcon and a simar, we still fall for bites. Now, simur was a bird that existed before, like a phoenix. It no more exists. So even if we may become so powerful and like falcon and simar, we still fall for the baits of the nafs. Every moment thou art delivering us, you are saving us. And again, we are going to that bite. O thou who art without want, you are the only one who is without any need and without any want. We are putting corn in this barn. Now, whilst in the story, Rumi brings a point here. And watch this point that he makes, a very important one. He says, we are putting corn in this barn, right? So every day we have a bag and we are putting corn inside, right? And then we are losing the corn that has been garnered. But end of the day, when we go and see that bag, there's nothing inside. Why? After all, do we not consider with the intelligent mind that this damage to the corn arises from the deceitfulness of the mouse? There is a mouse in your bag that is eating up your corn. So you are busy putting corn and putting corn and putting corn, and the corn is disappearing from the bottom and disappearing and disappearing and disappearing, right? So what is Rumi talking about here? Rumi is talking about the human state. The human state, outwardly, he's doing worship, he's doing good deeds, he's doing ibadah, and he's doing good actions, collecting rewards, apparently, thinking that he has lots of good deeds. But there's a mouse inside his heart that is eating up all those good deeds. And that mouse is that evil nafs of yours that is eating up all your good deeds. So apparently you are collecting corn and putting it in the bag, but there is a hole in your bag from where the mouse is eating up all the corn that you're putting there. Since the mouse has made a hole in our barn, and our barn has been ravaged by its guile, O soul, first place avert the mischief of the mouse. First, get rid of the mischief of that mouse that is eating up your corn. Fix the hole, close the hole, chase away that mouse, and then show fervor and zeal in garnering the corn. Then you can start going and collecting the corn and doing worship and doing good deeds and going ahead with your ibadah, right? But people, they do not figure out where is the hole in their barn, and they do not catch the mouse, and they are more concentrating on filling their barn with corn. This is our state. We are more worried about how many rewards we can get for this, how many salahs we can make, how many tahajjud we can make, how much sadaqah we can give, and how much good deeds we can do. But are those good deeds even counted? That evil nafs inside of you, it is making your deeds to be wasted. Go and fix that nafs inside, catch that mouse, close the hole inside, heal from within, right? Get control of your nafs. And then after that, you can go and start doing the good deeds. Here, one of the sayings related from the chiefs of the chief, the Prophet ﷺ has said the following hadith: لا صلاة تم إلا بالحضور. There is no salah that is counted except with hudur. No prayer is complete without presence. Presence means concentration of the mind on God, right? Presence of you, your soul, and your mind, and your body. When they are all present in one place, only then your salah is accepted. Otherwise, your salah is not accepted. Yes, the nafs is the greatest towards our success, the greatest barrier towards our success. That's correct. Now, if there is no thievish mouse in your barn, now if you say that there is no thievish mouse in your nafs, in your barn, where is the corn of 40 years work of devotion? Then where is that corn that you have been collecting for 40 years in working and making ibadah of devotion for 40 years? Where is that corn? Where is it? You're doing good deeds for 40 years, but where are the good deeds? Where are they? Why is the daily sincerity of our devotions not being stored bit by bit in this barn of ours? Right? Many a spark of fire shot forth from the iron of good works that burn, and that burning heart received it and drew it in. See, Rumi is talking about here is, there are many sparks of fire that shot forth from the iron of good works. So there are many people who received one spark of goodness, right? And that spark burned their entire heart with faith and with belief and with sincerity. They received it and they drew it in. Look, what Rumi is saying here is that, look, if your heart is ready and ripe, right? if it's pure and free of the evil nafs, right? You have worked on your inner self and you have done the inner work, and your heart is ready, right? It is like what you call that, gunpowder. So if the gunpowder is dry and ready, one small spark can ignite the whole thing and set it on fire. But if the gunpowder is wet, right, you can throw a whole fire on top of it, nothing will happen. That's what he's saying here. Many a spark of fire shot forth from the iron of good works, and that burning heart received it and drew it in. So one spark is enough if your nafs is purified. If your heart is ready for accepting the truth, one spark is enough. But in the darkness, a hidden thief is laying his fingers upon the stars. But in the darkness, there is a thief, right? There is a hidden thief laying his fingers upon the stars, extinguishing the stars one by one, that no lamp may shine from the spiritual sky. So Rumi is saying here, if you haven't done the inner work, there is a hidden thief that is laying his fingers on all the stars and all the sparks that are falling on your heart. He is extinguishing all the stars, all the sparks, one by one, so that no lamp may shine from the spiritual sky. Though there be 1,000 of snares at our feet, right? Though there be 1,000 snares at our feet, when thou art with us, there is no trouble. When Allah is with you, when you have recognized Him, then even though there may be 1,000 calamities and problems and trials and traps, when He is with you, there is no trouble. Every night thou freest spirits from the body's snare, from the body's grip. Allah frees the souls from the body every night. See, when you go to sleep, your soul is free. And dust erase the impressions on the tablets of the mind. And whatever is in your mind is erased. When you go to sleep, soul is free, your mind is erased. The spirits are set free every night from this cage, independent, neither ruling nor ruled by anyone. Now look what Rumi is trying to tell you. In the night, reality comes. Everyone becomes their real essence. So, when night falls and everyone goes to sleep, the souls are free from this cage, independent. They are not ruling anyone. No one is controlling them and no one is ruling them. Look, at night, prisoners are unconscious of their prison. See, when the prisoner is sleeping, even if he is in prison, he is not aware of that prison. He is free. At night, governors are unconscious of their power. See, at night, all the rulers, the governors, the presidents, the kings, they are unconscious of their power. Everyone is equal. Ajib. Amazing how Rumi puts it. There is no sorrow, no thought of gain or loss, no fancy of this person or that person. See, when you are in your sleep, there is no sorrow. There is no worry of gain and loss. You are not worried about your profits and your losses. You're not worried about fancying this one and that one. In your sleep, you are free from all sorrow, from all gain and loss, from all fancies, from everything. Now, the state that you are in when you are asleep, that is the state of the pious people when they are awake. This is the state of the Arif, of the Gnostics, even without sleep. So in their awakefulness, they are still in the same conditions, free from everything. God said, thou wouldst deem them awake, وَتَحْسَبُهُمْ أَيْقَاظًا. You think they are awake. وَهُمْ رُقُودٌ. Whilst they slept, shy not at this. So Rumi is pointing at that ayah of Ashab al-Kahf. وَتَحْسَبُهُمْ أَيْقَاظًا وَهُمْ رُقُودٌ. You think that they are awake whilst they sleep. This is the awliya of Allah. You think they are awake. They look awake. But actually, they are asleep because they are not attached to this world and anything of this world of wealth, honor, and name and fame and greed and desires and lusts and jealousy. They are free from all these things, right? When you go to sleep, you become free of all these things, right? But the real wali, the real arif, the real friend of Allah is the one who is in the same state of sleep when he is awake. If you can be in the same state that you are in your sleep whilst you are awake, then there is no bigger, no greater wali than you. So Rumi is saying that in your sleep, you reach reality. You are in true oneness. You are in true freedom. When you are asleep, you are in your true essence. It is when you wake up that you make yourself a slave. But if you can become free and realize that in my sleep I was free from everything, why am I becoming a slave when I wake up? If you can recognize that, then you can become free even whilst you are awake. And once you reach that status, then you reach the status of the Arif, the awliya Allah. You think they are awake while they slept. Shy not at this. So, the awliya, they look awake. They are awake for the akhirah. They are asleep for the world. He is asleep day and night. See, the Arif, he is asleep day and night. You and me, we only sleep at night. The Arif, he sleeps day and night to the affairs of the world. Like a pen in the hand of the Lord's control. He is like the pen in the hand of Allah, right? Wherever Allah turns this pen, this wali turns. Allah. One who sees not the hand in the writing things, that the act of writing proceeds from the pen by means of movement. The one who cannot see the hand, he thinks that the pen is writing, but the pen doesn't write. It is the writer who is writing with the pen. Now, the pen's movement are not on his own. There is a hand moving that pen, but you can't see that hand. He, God, has shown forth some part of the state of the Arif, inasmuch as the intellect too is carried off, overtaken by sleep of the senses. So Allah has shown forth the state of the Arif. It's when the intellect is carried over or overtaken by sleep of the senses. When you put your senses off, when you stop relying on your senses, your five senses, seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, and touch. When you come out of these five senses, right, and you let the sleep of spirituality and divine sleep overtake you, then you, in the night and in the day, become the same. Their souls are gone into the desert that is without description. Their spirits and bodies are at rest. See, their souls are gone into the desert that has no description, into an open plain that has no description. We can't describe to you where their souls are gone. And when their souls are gone to that place, their spirits and their bodies are at rest. And with a whistle, now, when it's time to wake up, with a whistle thou leadest them back to the snare, leadest them all back to justice and to the judge. So this happens every night. Every night Qiyamah takes place. Souls are freed, and then you die, and then Allah replaces the souls back and brings everyone back to life. Every night it's happening, but you are unaware. Like Israfil, God who causes the dawn to break, brings them all from those lands of the spirit into the world of form. So in the morning, you come back to this world. He embodies the spirits divested of body. He makes each body pregnant, yani laden, again with actions and work. So in the night, you are free. Now when you wake up, you are laden again with actions and works. He makes the steed of the souls bare of saddle. All right? The steeds of the soul, the horses of the soul, don't have saddles. This is the inner meaning of sleep is the brother of death. You see? النوم أخو الموت. The hadith there. The hadith is actually النوم أخت الموت. Sleep is a sister of death. So if you want to understand death, understand sleep. You will understand what is death. All right, so this is verse 401. We will stop here, inshallah, and we will end the lesson here for today. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين